Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Well, it looks like, the Golden State Warriors in some serious trouble as Minnesota Timberwolves took a commanding 3-1 lead after last night's victory. Now, Anthony Edwards actually was talking in the post game about wishing Steph Curry was out there. Take a listen here at what Anthony Edwards had to say.
Trust me, man. I wish he could be out there to play against him, no matter how it goes. But yeah, just from working out with him in the summer, that's what I told him after I hit a Tracy. Because he told me I had missed one. He was like, "You weren't gonna make that. You was too open." And I was like, "I ain't gonna never stop shooting him." I learned that from you this summer. So yeah, man, he's the greatest shooter of all time. So I would definitely love to compete against him, man. But he got hurt, unfortunately. And I hope he gets better.
Now, you could tell during the game that Steph was, super frustrated not being able to be out there, make any kind of impact while his team desperately needed him. It's not that they played bad. Actually, some players stepped up, but you're just going to miss the leadership, the scoring, the shooting. The way the teams have to play the Warriors is totally different, obviously, when Steph Curry is on the court. And so he makes the game a lot easier for other people. Jimmy Butler wasn't as aggressive as he likely needed to be to really impact the game, and especially without Steph out there. And Steve Kerr actually spoke about that in the post game.
Just how you're playing overall.
Well, he wasn't as aggressive tonight, but I didn't see a lot of openings either. It's ideally we could put more shooting around him to open up the floor a little bit, but with Steph out, we're not going to be able to do as much of that. But with that said, we'll look at the tape and see where we can find some openings for him, and I know he'll be aggressive for Game 5.
Now, Ant-Man, who was actually getting MVP chance, after his brilliant performance, 30 points on the road on the game to go ahead and take command of the league, he went over and got with Bay Area legend Gary Payton and gave him dap, showed him love, and had a really good exchange there talking to the NBA legend. Now, Ant-Man was asked about this in the post game about Gary Payton and some of the things that was said between the two. Take a listen here at what Anthony Edwards had to say about meeting Gary Payton.
I wanted to talk about that moment you shared with Gary Payton. Obviously, you got his jersey in your hand.
Yeah.
Just talk about that moment, how dope it is that you got these legends, coming up to you, kind of giving you your props and stuff too.
He didn't really come up to me. I came up to him. I don't think he's the type of guy to go up to nobody and give anybody props anyway. So I went up to him because, of course, I hear all the stuff about him, and then I go watch film on it, and he was really like that. So I told him, man, I'm a big fan, and I love the way you guard, man. And even offensively, he had a lot of games, you know what I'm saying? So, and his son kind of played defense similar to him. His son, super handsy, physical. So, yeah, big shout out to him.
Now, big shout out to Ant-Man after everything was made and kind of somewhat blown out of proportion about Michael Jordan being the only one having skill in his area. This was good to show another NBA legend that actually played during a good portion of Michael Jordan's 90s run. Show him some love, and you're in the Bay Area. It lets him know he's a student of the game. He said he watched film on him. It's like, nah, he really was like that. And best believe the glove was absolutely like that. Now, Ant-Man has shown total leadership in this playoff run. There's no denying that. I mean, this run from the 7th seed has been something to behold, and you can see growth on the court, especially after you losing Cat, adding in Julius and DiVincenzo. Take a listen here at what Julius Randle had to say about playing with Ant-Man.
I mean, for me personally, I know it starts with us, but it's Ant. Ant's, the brightest star in the room. and not just from what he does on the basketball court. It's his personality, how he brings everybody together. You know, how he communicates, just light up a room. You know what I mean? He has that it factor. So for me, I always just try to tell him to go be great. I said it before, I try to tell him to go be great. And I try to play off of that and make the game as easy as possible as I can for him. But I mean, it's really him. I said it from the beginning when I signed. I mean, when I got traded here, like, he's special. He has a chance to be as great as he wants to be. You know what I mean? So I just try to push him and challenge him and also be there for him any way I can, because I mean, we only go as far as he goes. You know, as it takes us. And, you know, he's taking us pretty far right now.
Now, as far as Golden State is concerned, you could see Draymond Green during the game trying to really motivate his guys, you know, with Steph being, you know, just able to stand there in street clothes, you know, catching Jimmy Butler's attention, really trying to motivate his guys to try to get one of these home games, extend the series, to try to get Steph back for maybe game 6. If not, push it to game 7, and you know, you like your chances, you know, with the game 7 with Golden State, with Steph Curry healthy in the lineup. But this is what Draymond had to say in regards to the prospects of Steph Curry actually coming back and returning.
It's an elimination. It's later stage of yours and Steph's career. Do you expect him to almost try to push himself back considering the circumstances? And do you have to be part of a conversation of, like, you know, him maybe having to protect himself from rushing back?
No, we're not going to Superman this thing. If he's in a place where he can play, I'm sure he will, and him and Rick and everybody will figure that out, but we don't need Superman. Gotta play the long game. So if he can, we know he will, but there's no pressure. We got to figure out how to win, whether he play or not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. As it pertains to this series, head to Minnesota up 3-1. It actually behooves Minnesota to go ahead and close this thing out game 5, because you don't want to come back to Golden State or game 6, even with the prospect of maybe having to face Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors, because not saying you can't, but it's going to be a much harder win than if you go ahead and handle business on the road. Now, I expect a much better performance out of Jimmy Butler and similar performances from, you know, Draymond, who played a really good game. But let me know what you guys think, man. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm all at you next time. Peace.